Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of Victorian Vigilante. Glad to see all of you again. I'm your host and GM for this evening, as always, the Great Rafiki. And once again, I'm joined here by my wonderful cast, who have been now bearing with me for 7 sessions now, which is amazing. Uh, 8 if we include session 0, so that's pretty good. So before we jump in tonight's session, I want to make it. Actually, I only have one announcement, which is that we have a new promo code with Die Hard Dice, which we are a dice affiliate with. If you don't know them, you can do exclamation dice in the chat. What it will do is gonna give you a lovely little promo code and a link to Die Hard Dice. This month, if you purchase the what did it call again? I should know that, but no. There we go. Let's switch that. Look at that. Big graphic over there. The glacial moonstone with blue. A beautiful, a nice little set from the hard dice. If you use the code GreatMay during your order, you get 10% off your entire order. And if you choose to add this lovely dice set to your purchase, we get a little kickback, and it does indeed generally actually help the stream. And all proceed and all that usually will typically go towards making the channel a bit better, visual, art and all that, because we do, like to pay our artists and all that at work and all and everything. So that would be awesome. Same thing goes for when people subscribe or add bits. That's where it goes. I think that is all the announcement on my end, really, because I didn't have anything. I don't know if any of my amazing cast members have any announcement or anything they would like to plug in. Look at that. It is a very, very short beginning. So, well, in that case, let's dive in right away to tonight's session of Victorian Vigilante.
We interrupt this program in order to bring you news about the ongoing situation in our eastern colonies and news on the conscription bill recently introduced into the House of Commons. Now back to our regular scheduled programming.
And we are back. So, last we left our sessions, our group of intrepid adventurer and more or less recycled detective now, with none of their day job is that usually, but they're doing a favor for a friend or for money, whichever works. In this case, it's most likely for money. Are currently on the trail and looking for the missing Doyle children, who have disappeared a few days ago. With this, they've been following the thread of Mr. Harrington's involvement in the matter. going to his warehouse a few times, they were able to finally get to his personal office, where they did find a ledger with various interesting information, some of them in regards to possible smuggling of artifacts, and a bit more implicating Mr. Harrington in various nefarious activities. A quick attempt at, peeking within the abode or location where Harrington and his crew were currently located, with limited success because a stethoscope is not exactly the tool of trade for that.
If Scooby Doo can do it with a glass, why not a glass against a wall?
Exactly. Um, so it did allow some limited use, but it was worth the attempt. Sometimes the dice are just against you, even if you add all the possible advantage. Things are just not meant to be.
All of my dice, I just want you all to know all of my dice are facing up as either 6 or 1s right now to tell them the direction that they need to land on.
Yeah, you need to teach those dice. T's are the number that you need to roll. It's important. Um, so, and when they
The black dice are specifically not showing 6 or 1 at all, in the hopes that they learn these to avoid that.
hey, there's multiple meta to madness. But with this team, eventually reunited with James, who has been slightly drinking the pub after losing track of his companions, and reunited to uh, Basil's family warehouse with his little shop. Did a bit more investigating there. But as the night was, getting a bit late, they decided to reunite the day after, a bit earlier, in order to go to the Pavilion Theater and hope to possibly, find some information, as it was previously mentioned that the Doyle children did once in a while go to said theater with various companions. So, as we are standing outside of the theater, there's a bit of a line. It's lower middle class folks, attempting to get a bit of midweek diversity in their routine, entertainment, and possibly, going to enjoy whatever will be the play of the day, provided by the local and distant playwright that decided to come by and give a shot at fame here in London. Granted, this is not, Grand Theatre where the most, noble folks will go for eye and entertainment. But hey, whatever distracted crowds, that's what we need to hear. So, you're all standing outside of the theater. What do you wish to do?
Does it look like there's going to be enough seating for us to get in, or are we going to have to cut lines here?
I mean, based on the size of the establishment, you estimate, it may be a bit crowded here and there, but at certain location, but chances are you can probably get some seating there.
Look at the party. Well, what do you all think?
First thought is potentially getting into the ticket office and seeing if they keep a log.
An establishment like this keeping a log of who attends? I highly doubt they take names.
Or going into and
I mean, they might take names if tickets were held for them, but does this look like that upper class of an establishment that might take reservations?
or going in and persuading the ticketed person to see if you can get any information. But
What sort of information?
well, first of all, trying to understand if this place is used for other means. other organizations. And then, secondly, if the children have been here far more recently than their parents or even Mr. Harrington may know.
Yeah, I'm just saying Alexandra's coming out is very quiet. I don't know if it's the system or just her audio or their audio.
Yeah, she's coming. You're coming a bit quiet.
I can bump up my. Hold on, I'll bump up my audio. Sorry about that, folks.
It's alright. I raised you a bit on my end as well, so.
Better?
Oh,
Yeah,
yep.
much louder.
Definitely noticeable.
Kind of along that same lines, GM. Would I know if this place has any like associations with any like organizations? If it's used for secret meetings of groups, that kind of thing?
Uh, Good question. Just either roll me a streetwise or just general knowledge.
I'll take general knowledge.
I mean, you're not exactly, may not necessarily be fully familiar with the place.
My dice have failed me. One success.
Okay. So to your knowledge, you try to remember. Okay, well do I know anything about this specific place, or is it used sometime for a nefarious activity? Based on what you can recall and what you may have been told, this seems to be just fun establishment for people trying to get some entertainment or put on a few shows. Usually like new visitors in town that wish to possibly be famous in London. For that somebody will notice them. Usually nobody does, unless you're already connected. That's how it works. Yeah, but based on your general knowledge, you have not heard of anybody doing anything that should not be done in this place. Is it a possibility? I mean, it's a possibility anywhere. But to your knowledge, it is not the case.
Well, we were. I think more than the ticket takers that would know people, because the ticket takers are just going to see a never-ending flurry of faces. If there's any attendants on the inside, food servers or janitors, they might be more likely to recognize problem causers or noisy children. I mean, the ticket takers might recognize younger than usual patrons, I suppose.
I also can't
Couldn't hurt
imagine.
to ask either way.
Yeah.
I also can't imagine the Doyle children, based on their clothing, might not. They might stick out a little bit. Not exactly dressed in what the average person wears.
Looks at
As you
Zephyrin.
know.
Are you in your upper class stuff, both Zephyrin and Alexandra?
I
So I can only go so far into middle class in terms of what I have available. So I'm definitely dressed more posh than the people here, but not like like I fit in with middle class is where my clothing is. It's like upper middle is what I've got. Which means I'm going to be underdressed when we go to visit the Doyles and overdressed for here because I could not find because there's no good outfit for doing both things in the same outing.
Yeah, kind of similar of a situation. This is the simplest dress that Alexander has, but it still is a perfectly tailored dress.
I mean, it's hard for me to look much different.
We're not exactly an inconspicuous party.
No, we're definitely not. That's why I mentioned it, just for the
And I mean,
for the audience.
you look around yourself right now. I mean, there is obviously a mix of folks. You know James, who is probably the most repaired person, to say the least, is not the only one around. I mean, uh, cog power, steam power prosthetic, is a thing that many people will have, especially in time of war, and many people did lose arms and legs and fingers. So artificial limbs are something that has been more and more seen. Not every prosthetic are made equal. Obviously, some is essentially, well, that's the best they could find. Especially in these parts, it's mostly functional. It's not always the most elegant prosthetic, but it works. But you know that your companion have probably seen a bit more trouble, based on the extensive reconstruction that he can currently show. But you sometimes will stand out, but it may mostly just be based on your behavior more than your appearance. Folks around here may give you a quick look, but don't really care.
Okay.
Once we're in the theater, why don't we do as Basil said? We explore, see if we can find people who may be willing to talk, and if anything, we maybe not watch the show, maybe don't stay the whole time, but we see at least if we can get a lay of the land. Look for hidden exits, back doors, things like that.
Makes sense to me.
All right. So you get in line to possibly get a ticket for the current show.
I'm
Yes.
currently looking at my skills for any way that can get us in there faster.
All right. I mean, currently waiting in line. The line move fairly quickly, so it's not too terrible. And eventually, it comes to your group, and you see behind this counter and things like that. This short-ish gnomish figure on a stool. Otherwise, you wouldn't probably see him. Completely bald, little mutton chops. So, you want some tickets here? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's
Sure
fine.
thing.
Here for the show, so that's 5 pence each.
I'll pay it.
Okay.
All right. Do you wish a copy of the programming?
Of course.
All right.
That would be lovely.
We're supposed to potentially meet someone here. They're a younger crowd. They promised they'd meet us here. They said they were regulars, and I will describe the two children without dropping names, but ask if they've been seen. They're supposed to be regulars. They were supposed to meet us tonight. Have you seen them tonight or recently?
And you can see him try to think. I mean, I see many faces around here. I mean, they look vaguely familiar. I don't particularly recall them. Do you know when they may have came? Last? Because maybe I was not on the one shift.
They're supposedly regulars. Supposedly the regulars. Do we know the last time out of character? Do we know the last time they were supposedly at the theater?
We do. I just don't
It's
remember.
just
I I would quote exactly because Basil would know because he can't forget things. I can.
You can see him
So I would quote exactly the.
you can see him
time.
pull a little door
It was like a week
Hey,
ago.
Margaret, can you come over here? There's some folk looking for friends. And you see this other little gnomish lady with or tie it in a bun, dressed right not to trip. So you do it? You looking for friends? Well, I mean, if you could, don't mind, like, just did they pay for the ticket? Yeah, they did. All right, well, just step out of line. There's just people waiting for for here, but I can see if I can help
Of
you.
course, of course.
And
Oh,
pull you
and
aside.
I'll repeat the story.
I mean, I do recall seeing like people that may match this vague description like a while back. Uh, they
But not recently.
not in recent day or so. No, it's been a little
That is
bit,
a shame.
like a few
Perhaps
days,
we
I
had our
think.
schedules mixed up and we were supposed to have been here days ago.
I mean, if you're lucky, they might come later on today. I mean, I can still see people waiting in line.
If you spot them, please do. I was hoping to have such a pleasant evening, and yet now we can't find our friends.
Oh well,
Yes. Well,
I can't
if you if you do spot them, could you? And I'll hand her a couple of pence. It's like, if you do spot anyone of that description, could you just let us know? We would like to surprise them.
All right, so I should not tell them exactly that there's people looking for them, but you.
No, just point them out to us. Smiley. It's a birthday present surprise thing.
Okay. Roll me a charm.
Charm. You sure it's not bowl? Okay.
I mean, you're trying either charm or
Charm is
bowl.
presence based, and I have
Yeah.
nothing in it. Okay.
I mean, either
One.
or. I mean, are you trying to bullshit your way, or trying to be a bit more charming?
I'm making up a story that'll hopefully get her to point them out, but not flag the fact that we're here looking for the kids if they show
Alright.
up.
All right, so it's gonna if you're trying to bowl, I'm just gonna roll against or with on my end.
I mean, I'll roll charm. It's just sad because I'm bad at it. Which do you want, DM?
Whichever you feel is more appropriate for what you're trying to convey.
I'm making this story up on the fly, and I probably should have put more points into charm than bowl, but I didn't really know the system. 2 successes.
That sounds like our problem all along.
In
Should
charm,
have made this character a little bit better, but whatever.
No, that would have been in bowl.
all right. Should look at you, take the pants. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep an eye out, and if I see them,
Much appreciated.
all right. Well,
Let's see what it would have been
Go,
if I rolled just charm.
take a seat.
same.
Wherever exactly. That's
Yep.
and enjoy the
Well,
show.
go to wherever our tickets were seated for us.
It's pretty much this kind of establishment is you get a ticket and you try to get whichever
It's
best
just first
seat.
come, first serve.
Yeah, it's it's not exactly assigned seating.
Is there like vendors inside?
There's a few. There's few. Let's call them unofficial vendors. If you actually give me a perception.
Perceptions.
Hey, dice, behave. Okay. 5 successes.
Better than my 2.
You said perception, right?
Yep.
Yep.
If you're like looking for things specific around here.
I'm specifically watching the crowd at the moment just to see if there's
Okay.
either the children or anyone trying to not be who they say they are.
All right.
Given my predilection for disguises, I'm seeing how many people might be in disguises of their own.
All right.
I'm
Noted.
looking both for like vendors that I could see that I can get information from, and also looking around for stealthy exits, what could be back doors, stuff like that.
Okay. So you're not for a fact there's establishment like this always have back doors or alternate entrance, especially for cast and things like that may want to come in and out without going to the main crowd, especially if for some reason they're running late and need to come in. They don't want to cut there. So there's definitely some exit, and you can see and after around that there's some there's like a door that probably lead outside. As for the little vendor, you do see this attempting to be discreet, but there's a few people around him. Gentlemen, essentially selling booze to people in little flask-like containers.
I got 2 successes if I spot anyone that's seemingly suspicious or they killed children themselves.
I mean, you do spot children, but not the children you're looking for, particularly. So, but as people, that may be in disguise, not at the moment, nothing, no, it's just, people that seems to be here to enjoy the show.
Okay. So much for paranoia.
Hey, sometimes paranoia will save your butt. Or sometimes, your perception is not high enough that, somebody will stab you in the back. You don't know.
Yep.
So, I'm assuming are you taking all seat or?
Yep.
Yep.
Before I grab a seat, I'm gonna go talk to the guy illegally selling booze.
What can I do, lady, for you? And he looks around.
Hoping to find something to make this show a little bit more enjoyable.
All right. So, I got a few spirits. I got absinthe. I got whiskey. I got gin. What's your poison?
Seems perfect. Gin seems good.
All right.
I have a bit of an odd question. Times are what they are. Have you seen I know that youngsters tend to try and ferry away with harder stuff than we typically allow them to. Have you noticed any children like this? And I described the Doyle children without dropping a name. Trying to buy some booze recently. They're family friends, and I'm a little concerned about them, trying to skirt those rules a little bit. I know that they have some temperance issues.
I mean, you're kind of, bullshitting your way slightly charming in there. I will let you either roll charm or bold, depending on whichever you prefer. Against
I'm
empathy.
trying to appear innocent in this. Can I add my angel face to this?
Ooh.
I mean, you're there buying booze. Are you all that innocent?
I'm perfectly of age.
You know what?
Fine.
Since you have, shit rolled, why not?
Yay! Because if you're making roll
More
black,
chances for the dice to betray you.
listen.
If with all that the dice disappoint you, it's on you.
3 successes?
I mean, I don't, sell, like your, little ones. I mean, you're little because you're short, but you know what I mean, lady, all right? But
I'm sure, sir, that we've never sold it to youngsters.
I may be, somebody that will, once in a while smuggle alcohol in the theater. But it's just, to help the people here enjoy, sometime shit-ass show. So, but...
Do I see her up there?
What's your just general perception score? Because it is getting crowded.
General perception.
Yeah, just what's your perception stat?
2.
2. It's getting fairly.
Plus your wits.
4 more than.
Yeah. It's getting fairly crowded. You could probably, see the tip of her head. And
But you'd never.
Oh, okay.
Youngsters such as
Just
these have
curious
never.
where she was.
Youngsters such as these have never approached, have they?
I mean, a few of them did approach me, but I'm I have some morals. I have a.
I'm just asking about the specific ones I've described. I don't. They just worry me. They get into trouble, unfortunately.
Well, didn't we all, right? I remember the days. We know.
Thank you very much.
I
for
remember
it.
Dad giving me the boots when I was, sneaking around, getting into his bottle.
Thanks for the booze. I'm gonna go back to my group because this guy.
Hey, whoa,
clearly
whoa,
has
whoa!
enough.
Forgot to pay. Yeah. Once you-
I would. I'm assuming I would have paid.
yeah, it's about like a shelling.
He forgot to charge you.
Yeah. I'll pay him the shilling.
Yeah.
I will turn to the group. Copy booze, anyone?
Absolutely.
He says it's. I'm gonna smell it. I'm
Absinthe?
assuming it does not smell like whatever alcohol he tried to sell me it was.
I mean, it smelled like it. Has it been a bit watered down to, get a better cut? Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's obviously not top shelf product.
Didn't expect any of that.
No. It will do the trick. And it may be a bit.
So it doesn't just smell like raw rubbing alcohol?
Yeah, that was
I mean-
more I thought. I thought he would just sell me rubbing alcohol with some water in it.
It has a strong rubbing alcohol smell, but, it is, drinkable. And should not kill you.
Good to know. That's all I care about.
Alright, so we'll give it to the robot. Shouldn't kill him.
Oh, yeah.
Just clean the parts. All right.
Alright.
How long to the show do we actually want to stay before we go talk to to the Doyles, or to the people?
I would
that
say we
need
want
hear?
to stay at least until intermission in the hopes that we might be able to speak to some of the actors.
Smart plan.
Alright.
Just to go over all our bases in case we do. There's always ending the show early too. Walk out or cause a disruption, but I don't think that's really necessary. But
I'm sure we won't be the only ones walking out early.
This is fair.
Out
Alright.
of character, did anyone remember to buy rotten produce before we entered the theater? Because I know the DM
Yeah.
last week
we said that was
there
our
would be
plan,
sellers
but none
for
of us
this.
explicitly stated so when
No, I
today's
did.
game.
I did
Sam.
specifically say that I
Did you said that? I missed it.
He said it
Okay,
last
cool.
week,
Yes,
but
I
then
did say
he
that.
walked off, so he might not. He might have missed his opportunity while we were talking to the ticket taker. He was off buying vegetables.
Okay. Yeah. No, I thought about it too, and I realized that I never explicitly said that I did, so I wasn't worried about it. I was just gonna find something in here to throw.
Alright.
Small children, whatever.
I have a lot of
Crappy
pockets.
booze.
I have pockets full of random stuff. Literally.
So just some random cogs and springs. Got
Yeah.
it.
It's entirely possible last week's lunch is in there somewhere.
Oh no.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. Alright.
What show do
I
we
mean, like
see?
beef jerky or something. I'm not gonna keep a pie in there or nothing.
Me?
Little
I mean,
biscuits.
technically, by description of the skill, yes, it's entirely possible. But
Yeah.
I think a little bit of practicality, I wouldn't.
Oh,
My guy's a little loopy, but he's not that loopy.
some biscuits and, part of a
Sandwich.
a sandwich, cheese.
Mhm.
Yep.
Cheese, some beef jerky,
Yeah. Some good old pocket cheese.
Pocket bacon.
That
It
is
was
nothing.
quality like roast beef, but now it's jerky.
Finely aged.
Exactly. All right. Eventually, people seems to settle and come in. No,
Pull a piece of beef jerky out of
No.
my pocket and eat it stubbornly.
you know, people, turn off the lights in the little room, and the stage is lit, and you have the little whoever is announcing. I don't. It's a stage. I say my first word comes to my mind is stage manager, but it's not the right word. Welcome.
That's okay. My mind went to Mater D, and that's definitely not right.
No, it's not.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's show. Where Pavilion Theater is proud to present you The Lady and the Fool. Please sit back and enjoy the show. And I'm not gonna perform a full play here.
Oh,
No.
come on. That's what we were counting on. That's why we came here.
We only have a 2-hour time slot, and I did not write a full play.
Oh,
Describe
come
the-
on, DM.
We expected that you were memorizing the entire of Midsummer Night's Dream for this session.
For shame.
Yeah. For shame, I'm sorry, I did not prepare an entire play for this.
Just tell us how basically terrible is it, and how
Yeah,
do we
how
have to make
bad
like
is
a
it?
will save to stay in our seats and not
Yeah.
leave?
I mean,
Or-
for the
Or
most
not
part,
fall asleep.
it is not, the worst play you have seen. Some people will laugh, some people will like, meh. Some
Some people will cry.
yeah, some people will cry. It's ups and downs. Sometimes the reason people don't laugh is because the timing on certain jokes are just shit, and you're not sure if it's due to the script or just the performance of the actors. Maybe a mix of both. But all in all, it
You're
is.
muted, I think, Todd.
No, I was mouthing
Oh.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, just like, it's both.
Yeah. On and all, it is a bit of a bit better than you may have expected. Enjoyable, debatable, depending on personal taste, but overall, it's not too terrible. And eventually, intermission is called. People, can stretch their leg, refill their terrible liquor pot, and do what we call a bio break, which is using for the local chamber pot.
Oh, come
Hey.
along. We're talking to the actors, yes? Now get
Yeah,
up and
that
start
was
walking
the
up
plan.
onto the stage. Fastest way
No,
backstage.
don't.
No, no, no.
Yeah, no, I would grab Basil and be like, no, that's not going to work. We have to
Fastest way
sneak backstage. We have to sneak backstage. We can't just barge on the stage. We will get thrown out before
Not
we get to the
before, but-
actors.
Worked before, but alright, if you insist.
We use that door to the outside that I spotted
Okay.
to kind of, because that would presumably lead toward where the side exit is, which is where the actors go in and out.
Yeah. So get there eventually. Move through the current crowd, and go outside. There's a bit of people standing outside. Some folks in costume that you're able to quickly spot a bit further down, probably leading to a different door. But yeah, you're currently enjoying the intermission, and actor probably shitting on the poorly written script, and playwright shitting on poorly poor performance of the actors.
Oh, I don't know if it was all that bad.
Yeah.
Just to interrupt completely. Hello. I have some questions for you.
First person you probably see is some lady playing with a big old wig and way too much makeup. which took part. Well, what can I help you for? You charming young man.
Oh, well, thank you. Um, we're trying to find some younger compatriots of ours. They are regular patrons of this establishment, and I don't know how big of fans they were. They might have harassed or bothered some of you. Some of you fine thespians. Um,
Got any
I'll
name?
describe the kids. I'll describe them.
I mean, I think remember seeing them. I think like Dylan has seen them like a while back. She's one of the playwright.
Excellent, thank you. And I'll just.
I mean, she's probably busy right now, but
Oh, I don't mind. No, just
Just gonna barge in on her regardless.
yeah.
Sounds about right.
I have skills in etiquette, but I also choose to ignore them a lot.
it's not
It throws
because
people
it's
off.
not because you know the
I
etiquette
don't
that you.
have skills in etiquette.
Wait, you don't have skills in
Conversation.
etiquette?
Nope,
Me?
I have skills in conversation, but I don't have skills in etiquette.
I mean,
I eschew my upper class upbringing.
you know, knowing etiquette doesn't mean that you have to follow it.
Mm-hmm. I know how to break the rules to upset people.
Exactly.
This is true.
So I'll go towards where she directed us to the playwright.
And you do see there's if you go behind, there's a bit of an office, which the door's closed at the moment, and in front of the door, there's this orcish gentleman, just sitting there, and he's one of the stagehand, and probably off time, when shit goes round and down, bounce of the place.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at
Oh,
you.
look, it's thank you. Excellent. Is the playwright in? Just need to speak with him for just a moment.
Who the fuck are you?
Me, who are you?
Well, you're me. I'm Fred.
Hi, Fred. How you doing? Excellent job you're doing there, by the way.
Well, thank you. I mean, not many people, admire the work, but it's all hard work here.
Mm-hmm.
Those, bags of sand are not gonna lift themselves up,
It's so very, very true. I found the same problem in my establishment.
So, Mr. Me,
Mm-hmm.
what can I do for you?
Need to speak with the playwright, or perhaps you can help us. Some rapscallions, some young, youths we're looking for. They tend to hang around here, we've been told, and I will again describe the children. Have you seen them at all?
Let's use this intelligence, which is sadly not very high.
I was hoping not.
I mean, I've seen tiny people around. I don't remember them.
You probably shouldn't let them run around. Maybe
Then
you got
again-
heavy bags of sand hanging overhead.
I mean, they're all really tied up very well. Although sometimes accidents do happen.
Right,
But,
you should probably make sure that there's no one running around under them.
well, that's why when we see one, we just yell like, "Move!"
But what if they can't hear?
Well, I mean, they get crushed.
Well, that wouldn't reflect very well on you at all.
I mean, I'm not. I can only like tie the thing up, and yell. But if they're deaf, it's not my fault.
But you could be very heroic and jump and save them. Or patrol to make sure that nobody can get up there.
Why would anybody go there?
It's a very strange world out there. I don't know. Seeking fame, fortune.
I mean, that's a weird word to seek fame, fortune. You're not planning to go
Isn't
there,
it?
are you? And he looks at you.
Me searching for fortune or fame? Please.
I mean, you do look like a little fancy man.
Of course, I've already got the fortune. Why do I need more?
That's fair.
Alright?
So,
So anyway, if you'll excuse me. They've got the play, and I don't want to hold her up very much longer.
I mean, she's a bit busy right now, and it's very dangerous to go
Well,
in
of
there.
course, we're hoping to be helpful.
Are you, are you a friend or something?
I hope so.
Well, okay, well, I can, try, cause she's pretty angry right now. I can, do, just let her know. What's your name? Oh, yeah, you told me it's Mr. Me.
Well, among others, yes.
And he knocked at the door. Dylan? What is it? There's, Mr. Me here to see you. Who the bloody hell's Mr. Me? I don't think she knows you. Do you have a different? Do you have a,
With a
do
name
you have a
like mine,
different?
people
Do you have a
tend to forget.
different name?
Sure. Now, is she visible through the door, or is she just talking through the door?
You open door. She can see. You can see her. She's like busy, like trying to revise script and shit like that.
Any sneaky people want to try and sneak in?
I can try.
Much more
Yeah,
social-
sure.
I'm much more I have social stuff for a reason.
That's what I'm trying to be
Yeah,
social,
but-
and then one of you do the blend in the background when there's conversations going on. I'm distracting the guy. Do stuff.
Okay, so we'll sneak.
I want to try and sneak in.
2 on my hide and sneak.
I'll do my hide and sneak as well.
I'll
Love
keep the conversation going in general in somewhat confusing manner to
All right.
try and let them in.
All right.
2.
I'll be very friendly with the guard and just like, well, if she doesn't want to see me.
Okay. I mean,
3.
Yeah, I'm
No.
helping with stealth by keeping all the attention on me.
yeah. And I mean, you're able to, there's like obviously like people walking around as well, so it helps for some people to be able to sneak around a bit more ease. But I mean, poor Fred. He seems like a very nice person, and
Start talking to him about like knots, so for the different
yeah.
knots and
I
ways
mean,
you tie stuff
chances
up.
are that one of his bags probably fell on his head a few times. I mean, that's a good technique for like I usually show you how he does it. But with limited success, you're able to the rest of you are able to sneak in behind him and open door. What did I bloody hell told you? Who the hell are you?
We just have a quick question. So terribly sorry to bother you.
Well, can you seem busy here?
It'll just take a moment of your time. I know. It's a brain. You keep trying to say something.
Oh no, I was trying to figure out how much to bribe her for her time. I know you're very busy, and I'm well aware of the expense of how much time can cost. And I would slip her. What is the middle one? Is a shilling?
Yeah.
Like it's not a pound; it's the shilling.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I know
Okay.
I'm busy. I'm trying to fix my script because one of my actors is missing. So make it quick.
We're in search of some children. They're friends of ours, and we just want to make sure that we hear they're regulars here. We just want to check in, and I'll describe the Doyle children because none of us want to go through the whole thing and describe the Doyle children.
I wonder if they're with the missing actor.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those two little shit here, right? Like their cousin here.
I'm terribly sorry they've been little shits.
I mean, everybody, just coming here backstage, looking like they own the bloody house. It bothers me when I'm trying to work, to meet their all little shits like you're little shits right now. So if you don't excuse me, like I can,
It's kind of how long the actor's been missing.
How long's the act? You mentioned an actor's missing?
Yeah, he was supposed to show up yesterday, and he's supposed to show up today, but no, he's probably too bloody fucking drunk at the pub.
What's his name?
That's Jeremy.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know this is an inconvenience, and I'll slip. What's there? I forget. I'll slip her another shilling.
All right, and she just pockets it and walk outside the office and just smack Fred.
We're deep in the middle of an actual legitimate conversation about
Oh
the
yeah,
various properties and benefits of different knots.
yeah, and
And we'll just exit out of the office.
Yep.
and as much as Fred is a big gentleman that could be extremely intimidating in certain circumstances. No, her tiny little frame of a human person is 10 times scarier. When oh, and I think I'm in trouble here, Mister Me.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, my friend. I'll put a couple shillings in his pocket.
Oh, oops.
Oh, we're sorry.
We're bribing everyone.
One moment. For some reason, the wrong audio's playing. Yeah, I forgot to loop the track. Fuck. Yeah, and as much as I like this song, no, fuck, that's not the one. Oh, that's not the one I want. I swear I'm a goddamn professional here. Yeah. What? Yeah, it's all in the script, things, will go wrong here. Exactly, all this, it's sometimes your groovy doesn't want to play the right song, and it's all right. All right. And sometimes my audio player is just like, nope, I'm gonna play the wrong song, and yeah, it's still playing the wrong thing. All right. Sorry. I mean, don't get me wrong. Not a bad song. All right. All right. There you go. I know why. Because I looped the old playlist that was playing before, and not just a track. Big brain here. So eventually, yeah. Fred, was currently in trouble. But yeah, the children were, seen here around, and you do see like a little gentleman. So here you were looking for little people. I've seen Dylan being quite upset that some did she call them entitled shithead came into office. But yes,
How recently?
it's not been more than 2-3 days, I think. Maybe a bit more. I don't recall. Last year's scene with a little dwarven gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, friends and family of yours? I mean,
Yes, family friend. Just trying to, rambunctious children tending to say one thing and do another. We're trying to find the pattern, as it were. But you can't know that out of character. He's not narrowing it down to any more recently than the last time the kids have been seen.
yeah, it's based on what you can recall and what people are telling you. The time frame that they were last seen with Arrington, it's probably around the same time frame that they went missing, which it was a bit, more recent
About
than
3
last
days
time they
ago.
were seen with Robert. So
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were night that they went is it matching up with the night that they went missing? They were seen here with Mr. Harrington.
Based on the date, yeah, they would probably match. I mean, um, hopefully you're gonna find your family member around. Oh, I think I hear uh, my my boss calling me. Uh,
Of course, of course. Thank you for the
yeah,
information.
yeah, but no problem.
Tell
Good.
your boss I said hi.
Yeah, and he looks at you as like, yeah, sure I will. And he goes, and you can hear like the second part of the show has been announced, and the play begins once more. Uh, Once again,
We leave.
with
Yeah.
I was.
some
Yeah,
applause
we
and
leave
mixed
through
review.
that same backstage door that we came in, that we barged in through, and I think this is when we go back to the Doyles to give them what information we've got,
I think
And
we
accuse them
also
rather
of,
than staying for the second half of the play.
yes.
and let's not forget accusing them of smuggling.
Well, just Mr. Doyle. I don't think Mrs. Doyle. Mrs. Doyle, the women in these families either are the ones doing the smuggling or are unaware.
Oblivious.
We do tend to make presumptions, but we have no evidence that she's not involved.
True. But I don't think she would want her own children. I don't think she would have hired. Well, this now tracks with why she would have hired outside
Complete
people.
incompetence for investigators.
Extremely competent people.
People for whom investigation is not in their skill set.
Wherein she can at least say she made the attempt and the failure is on us. How
Right.
convenient.
Also, this got more complicated.
Isn't it, though? Let's go ruin someone's day.
Oh, just an evening.
Someone else's day. We seem to have ruined the poor writer's day. Although her day
That's-
seemed to have been ruined before we got here.
Yeah, well, we seem to add to that flavor no matter where we go.
That's true. Alright, let's go upset some upper class prissy people.
I know how to handle those types.
To save
I know
us,
how, I choose not to.
I just do whatever I feel like. To save us time getting there, I'll get us a cab or whatever if there's one convenient on the
Yeah,
way.
you could probably, especially around like this district, you could probably find one with some ease. There's currently a steam-powered one that's currently around.
Mm-hmm.
So quickly, or at least as quickly as the vehicle will allow you to go travel through the streets, you are able to make your way to the upper echelon of the city, and eventually to towards the Doyle residence, unless you wish to make any stop along the way.
Just a question.
Yes.
Any other signs of protests or any of those people, any like leftover people like trying to hand out pamphlets, stuff like that?
Give me a perception check with difficulty 1. Actually, the difficulty 2. Just because it's getting dark and no, it's mixed crowds.
Okay.
Two success, no failure.
I'm assuming that's something you're looking at along the way. So
4 successes, no failures.
Ooh.
you do catch a few glimpses here and there of people putting up posters against the conscription bill on walls of establishment, all things like that. No active protest at the moment. but obviously there's still a lot of tension in the air, uh, and uh, police vigilance seems to be there, to prevent further uh, grouping of people just take down the streets like that. But like beside a few obvious anti-establishment poster being brought up, uh, you don't really see anything like major activity per se.
While we are in the carriage, I will try and dust off my dress and put my hair up to look as presentable as possible.
Easy enough to do. I mean, it takes you a bit of time, but you have time to go to get along the ride. Any thing that Zafrina and James you wish to do while you are in the steam powered carriage?
Self prepared to try to not steal stuff.
Sometimes it's just best to stay outside.
That's a fair point.
Well, we might upset someone into running. It'd be good to have someone outside to see if they go anywhere. That's a good point, though.
Yeah. You're muted.
Sorry. Zafrine is probably also, like, dusting herself off and trying to, like, straighten her dress and everything out to make it... to make the transition back into upper class.
Alright.
High society, upper standards.
Basil's going to scribble down a note and seal it to be sent to his association, listing the basically listing the suspected crimes of Mr. Doyle with his smuggling
Okay.
and stuff like that. That's seems to be in line with concerns for our my organization. And if we pass like a constable or maybe someone I might recognize as also part of it, someone reliable, I'll hand it off to with a couple shillings to ensure that it gets to the right people.
Oh, there's a cat.
Yeah, there was a ball of fluff that was trying to make everything fall here. Because she
As
is
they do.
absolutely. Sometimes she can be like a ninja, and sometimes she's the clumsiest cat you will ever see. But yeah, Basil,
If it's
you're able.
possible to find someone to hand that letter, that note off to, I will, so that it gets to.
You will be able to find a constable. I mean, although you may have to persuade them to do your bidding since you're not exactly a well-known person.
I have my warrant card,
Yeah.
which.
Well,
If anybody,
Work card this whole time?
if anybody sees it, I'll flag the guy down, and I've got a couple shilling on it. But if he causes any difficulty, I'll show the not to keep it as low visible from the rest of the group as possible. But I'll have a warrant card I'll flash to him just to like this official business. This isn't just some drunkard here.
yeah.
I need this to get to where it needs to get to.
With a bit of persuasion, potential bribery, and providing proper evidence of that you're have some connection, you're able to do get somebody to take the paperwork that you just provide them, a bit begrudgingly, just because they don't like themselves to be seen as courier.
Understood, and I do apologize for that. It's just in the heat of the moment of the case, I don't have.
I mean, they will do their best to send it to the proper people. Do they
If there's like a drop box or a local place, I'll tell them the easiest place to do it. It's just if there's nowhere, if I'm doing this because I'm assuming it's the easiest method on our route. If there's an easier method to get this letter off, I will do that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
worst
this
case, they
seemed
can
like
just hand it off to people above their pay grade to
I just want to make sure someone has a copy of it. I'm basically making sure someone has a copy of this information.
Oh yeah, easy enough to do the handout and just a briefly tool, just a quick stop. Easily done.
And then I apologize to the
And you
cab
can,
driver. I'm sorry. Yes, please go. Continue and
oh,
put
don't
my warrant
worry.
card back.
All right. So we're going to the fancy part of town, are we? Don't usually
Yeah.
go there.
It'll be an adventurous for us all then.
And slowly but surely, you know,
A few times.
it gets you all over there in front of the familiar Doyle residence. And again, you know, massive door with the dragon head door knocker is there waiting for you.
Before
I
we
bow.
knock. Before we knock.
Mm-hmm.
I
Do we think that he'll run?
No, I think they're going to be arrogant enough to make us try and run. Or try, if we actually piss them off. Or they'll outright attack us. But at this level of society, they don't panic that easily.
I just
I
have to
wouldn't
be.
think.
I just have to be.
Certainly, they won't really justify. We would require much more direct, conclusive evidence before they would be even remotely spooked.
I just want to make sure I'm not. I don't just speak for myself. Remember, I speak for my family and our business.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it makes you feel better, if we get to the accusing box, I'll do it.
I just have to be cautious.
Oh,
How
yes.
we say it.
Oh, I didn't think we were going to march in and immediately wave and pull out the bookkeeping page. I didn't think we were going to start with this.
Yes, just know that impacts how I may react in this situation. I have responsibilities beyond just our group.
As do we all, I believe.
barely. I'm more just here because I got paid to be here.
Remember that as upper classes as I may seem, I still work for people like the Doyles.
Yes.
Well, and certainly yours is not the only reputation that's at risk if we come at this from the wrong angle. My family would not take kindly to a feud being started because I was involved in some outlandish scandalous accusation that we have no way of
we're wrong. It'd be
proving,
utterly
so.
embarrassing. That's why I didn't think we were starting with it.
Just things to be aware of when we go into this conversation.
Yes, just treading lightly towards active accusations and simply saying how the evidence suggests. Taking it delicately, as it were. But okay, it seems like we're all agreed on not on just, trying to come at this from a good perspective. I'm gonna go ahead and knock since it seems like we've reached the end of
Basil
that
is
conversation.
okay with it being delicate at least for a while, but he's also fine with giving you all plausible deniability.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Outside.
I mean, sometimes it is a smart move. And you knock quickly, and then have time to go with the second knock. The door is open, and you see in front of you immediately, the same gentleman that previously, welcome you. Although, welcome is a broad term here. His cold demeanor, Mr. Straub, which you all remember from first session. With very stylish, beard, little dwarf gentleman. Oh, look at you. You were a bit expected. Please follow me.
Did he say we were expected?
He said we were expected.
Oh, isn't that intriguing?
Does he lead us to Mrs. Doyle or Mr. Doyle?
It leads you to more or less, living space. Please have a seat. Mr. and Mrs. Doyle should be coming down soon. We'll advise them that you are here. And you do see around also Caroline, tending to bringing tea and biscuit.
I know we don't have like insight checks.
It's empathy in this case.
It's empathy. Can
Yeah.
I do an empathy check to see how the butler is reacting to our presence?
Yeah, go for it.
I did not put it.
I'll
Next
give it a
ex-
read.
Anybody currently present that wish to just get a general vibe on the people currently present may roll empathy.
nothing.
One success.
That was the wrong roll. I made my resolve not to steal from the place.
Okay.
I did not make any successes on the empathy check.
Yeah. Mrs. Schraub is a very, he presents himself extremely well. And it's extremely hard to read. Carol, on the other end, is a bit more visibly nervous, tense. As, Mrs. Straub, promptly leave, and she's just there, preparing, making sure that, tea and biscuits are safe, just out of being polite and out of habit of, when they receive guests in their home. But yeah.
Can I whisper to her? Everything all right?
Oh, yes, it's just that Mr. and Mrs. Doyle are quite a bit upset. You see, well, have you seen the paper recently? And she looked around.
Yes, we saw. They don't think that we told the press, do they?
I mean, Mrs. Doyle, did not mention that, she was suspecting any beaut in front of Mr. Doyle. And so if that's what you're worried about. Oh, and you can hear, like, the light footstep of Mrs. Doyle. And she comes in with, a beautiful purple dress with, like, a gold necklace and her pet of choice, Fitzroy the lizard, just sitting on her shoulder as always. She'll look at all of you. Please have a seat. My husband's upstairs in his office still at the moment. Quite a bit upset, honestly, that our name was shown in the paper.
It was rather a surprise, honestly.
I do hope that this had nothing to do with any of you. How do they say that in common folk? Spilling the beans.
As I said, it was quite a surprise. We thought someone at your house had decided to go in public with it.
We were certainly as discreet as we could possibly be in our inquiries.
All right. Well. But did receive word from. But they're missing, and they're definitely taken away from us.
You were saying you received a ransom note. Oh.
That is correct. Let me just go and find it, and she can see that she's looking through her things in like a nearby little table. Let me
Might
just,
I ask, if you'd
yes.
received this, why hadn't you contacted us yourself?
Well, I mean,
You have us on the case, and
it was actually just received this morning. It seems that, yeah,
Hmm.
you would expect, people that would submit such note to, be a bit more quick about this. And she pulled a piece of paper and handed it to whoever wished to read it.
I'll take a look at it
All
for.
right, and
can I also take a look at it?
yeah, and it reads, "We have your children. Our apologies to your family for the distress. The children are alive and relatively unharmed. We demand that you hand over a certain artifact, a sculpture shaped as a dragon, if you wish for your heirs returned to you. Bring it to Grosvenor Square at noon tomorrow in a carriage. A representative of our organization will meet you there, and you are instructed to transfer the sculpture to this representative. When we have a sculpture safely back in our hands, we will instruct our employee to release your children in the vicinity of your home. Understand that we have their safety in mind, and you cannot see them until you relinquish the dragon. If you seek to betray us again, your heirs will be lost to you. Whatever happens, know that the situation is fully your own responsibility, and you must also bear responsibility for what happens next. Choose your course of action wisely. We do not wish the police or any other meddling authorities involved in this, and we do not think that you would want it either. Please do not complicate things further. A quick and friendly resolution to the situation is preferred, and it will not disrupt your future business interests. However, if you do not comply with our demands, know that you are placing your children and business in jeopardy. May we close this deal with dignity, so we both prosper in future." And I can send you uh, as well if you wish
Does
to.
the
Yeah.
handwriting look familiar?
I was
Uh,
just ready to ask that.
it does not look familiar. It's very well handwritten.
Mm-hmm.
It's not comparable to any of the chicken scratch that we found on the books from Harrington's place.
No.
Or the burned
Or the
letter that yeah.
yeah.
Does it look like? I assume it might look like it's been folded up.
It was folded up like it was very long letter. So it was.
Perchance, again, addict memory. I remember everything I've seen. Look at all like the note that Ratface had when he was in the cart that our party hung on to.
Based on the size of the paper, that would probably be something like that. Yeah, it's about the same size.
And we know that warehouse is Mr. Doyle's. The warehouse we've been breaking into has been Mr. Doyle's warehouse, or no?
No, it's
None
not.
of the
It's
warehouse
Harrington.
belongs to Mr.
Harrington's.
Doyle. It
Okay, I
belongs to Mr.
misunderstood
Harrington.
something that was said earlier. Then
Two
It
completely
had
very different.
it had Doyle's. It had Doyle's. It had this delivery on the books.
right, it was. That's why I got it mixed up.
Some of Doyle Import go through Harrington's warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
and probably a few other here and there in the area, depending on his business around. But
Well, the odd question. Okay. Piecing this together, because the oddity is, it traveled through their. This is out of character here. Just player ponderance. This item passed through the bad guy warehouse, and they didn't take it then, but now they want it. So they didn't realize necessarily what it was until it was gone.
Either that, or it's possible that Harrington may have been hired after the fact.
Yeah,
And or may have
someone
been,
else found out about it. But the
yeah.
point is, the coincidence that it went through their warehouse, they didn't take it then, so they either didn't know or didn't care, to your point. After the fact, they might have mentioned it, and someone goes, "Oh, that was near you. You go get it for me. I'll pay you."
Mm-hmm. Turns out Mr.
Wow.
Harrington is not a red herring after all.
Mm, still might be. Um, but anyway, I think it's good. I'm now thinking it's a good thing James is outside, so that Harrington, Mr. Doyle, doesn't leave while we're here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also, this ties into the aspect that our crazy ghost lady mentioned dragon from the east. This is
Right.
a dragon artifact.
From the east.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So this is something the spirits are aware of / concerned with. So this tells us it's not something entirely mechanical, or it's mechanical and unusually significant. But again, I would suspect on tier with the marvels if it's being called an artifact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pardon me, Mrs. Doyle.
Yes.
Do you know what this artifact is? This dragon sculpture?
Yes, I've seen my husband bring that home from his one of his most
It's
recent
here.
trips. Yes, it is. And
Can we
it's,
see it?
uh, certainly. Caroline, would you please guide our guest to uh, well, more has been called it the Chinese room, but honestly, it's all artifact from the east. Um, so, certainly, Miss Door, please follow me.
Eagerly follow.
Yeah.
I'll follow, but keeping an eye backwards to make sure that she's not leaving.
Miss
Someone
Door,
find Mr. Doyle.
yeah. You do.
So
I mean, if you,
I'll call back as we're following.
yeah,
If Zafrina, are you following us, or are you staying in the room?
No, I'm following you. Might be better
Oh.
stuff to steal in the in the artifact room.
yeah.
It's like, I think one of us might want to put eyes on Mr. Doyle as well,
I can remain back.
or we all take a look at this. I'm just thinking. I don't
Well,
know.
Mr. Doyle wasn't there. I
No,
don't
she
know
said he was
where-
in his room or
Yeah.
something and would be
He was in his
down.
office, yeah.
Let's look quickly, see what we're looking
Or
at. and then-
Mrs. Doyle, could you have your husband join us?
Certainly. I can ask. And Caroline will lead room towards the
Mm-hmm.
room, and Miss Doyle will quickly go see if Miss Doyle is available. But promptly, like, you're led to this room, which is filled with various artifacts from the east, sculpture, urn, all things that were definitely legally appropriated,
Totally.
as you know,
Definitely.
as everything in the British History Museum, right?
Just as culturally. Oh, we're not going. Yeah, we're going there.
Mm.
I'm gonna throw shade on the British Imperial, and that
Imperial grave robbing, yes.
Yeah.
yes,
It's not like any.
it's like
There's-
it's like the old saying, what seems British but it's not. Everything in
The contents of the British.
the content of their museum.
Yeah.
But yes, you're led to this room, which if there's a few chair, there's sculpture, artwork, urns, all sorts of figurine, and in the center of it, you can see this what is actually the centerpiece of the room, the first thing that will absolutely draw your eye, which is about a 2-foot tall jade dragon. It is a fairly like about 2 foot tall and maybe like 4 to 5 feet long. It is a big object.
That'll be hard to get out of here.
It is essentially a priceless artifact.
I'm going to take a very, very close look at it.
Um,
Is it? I'm looking to see if it is in fact just a jade statue, or
give
if
me
it has any other significance at all.
give me perception, like as you're like approaching.
Can I do an appraisal?
That's
Sure,
also the thing.
go for appraisal.
Okay.
I don't
I'll do
remember. Does anyone know what the associated skill is? Because I do not.
That
write
would probably
down.
be wits.
It's wits.
It is wits. Okay.
I have it
Yeah.
right now. I have. Ah.
3 successes to appraise this jade dragon.
2 successes to. Is it just a dragon or is
Three
it something
investigate.
more?
3 for.
All right, we're gonna go with the appraisal first.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at it. I mean, you've seen many, beautiful, nearly priceless artifact. Putting an amount on this is extremely difficult to the point that you're not sure exactly how much something like that could cost, or like what are the funds that Mr. Doyle had to pay in order to obtain this, or how we managed to get such an artifact as well. Based on just the sheer size and the material of it, and it's clutching like those 2 massive jade orb as well. When you look at the those are giving a quick glance at it. What did Alexandra and Basil? What did you roll for?
I got 3 successes.
Get 2 successes.
It takes a bit of time, and you focus your attention on the dragon, and you can see shimmering through it what appear to be almost.
And I like to pull out magnifying glasses
Yeah.
or whatever I need to for research tools.
You're not sure if it's a trick of the light hitting at the right angle with the lamps, or you may see something moving within the jade.
Oh, that's.
How's this rain?
Like the physical thing that's like not moving, but you can probably
Some sort of energy or something.
yeah. It's
Zephyr,
very, very discreet.
correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, you did mention before you have at least some sensitivity to the ethereal, to the magical realms.
It doesn't always work when I want it to, but if you're asking me to try to connect to it on a spiritual level, I can certainly see
Yeah, the
what
best
happens.
stuff we have sort of an actual arcane specialist.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to this
Alright.
than just a pretty statue.
What's the associated skill with spiritualism
That would
or
be your.
magic?
I think that would be your Quintance.
Okay.
Which
Presence,
is the first time that we actually
I have
see of those things happening.
1, 2, 3,
Yes,
4,
because there's
5,
magic
6.
in this world.
There is. We
Alright.
just none of us decided to use it because we all saw the system and went, yeah, good.
I went. It'd
We
be
don't
cool
wanna-
for me to just be harassed, so I'll put a talent in it, and
Yeah.
then I have a point in the skill, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
sure, why not?
use your Quintance and
So
what are you
it's-
trying to
I got
connect with?
6 quintessence dice.
yeah. What are you trying to connect with?
The
Energy within the statue or this?
yeah, kind of just any associated.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the way to say this, like ghostly or like curse or like
Do you have?
like if it's a holy artifact, kind of like
Okay.
that kind of bearing on it.
All right. Which ability are you trying to use specifically on your in the ability available to you. Spiritualism.
Spiritualism.
Okay. I just need to clarify the rule for this. Okay. So I'm assuming you're using your spiritual. So trying to know historical event. Okay. There's a various option available to you depending on what you're specialized with as spiritual ability. In this case, it would either be a magic sense, which would be actually in this case your presence plus your spiritualism role, or if you're trying to see anything supernatural, that will just be that would be the same role.
Okay.
So you can do that with a yeah. Just go for it.
All right. Noted. Okay. It's one success.
On what magic sense or see supernatural?
Supernatural.
You do get a faint feeling about the statue itself, and a few other minor ping on little objects around here.
There's a supernatural shit all around us. That's not unusual, actually. Bunch of stolen artifacts, yeah.
And you do. What's your perception?
Base perception is gonna be. I roll 6 dice when I come to perception. So it's 3 in the perception skill and then 3 more in my wits.
Okay. You do seems to be like you're focusing on the statue for a bit, but like in your peripheral you do see what appear to be movement, which is you seem to be the only one picking it, just based on certain gifts that you have. Like both Basil and Alexander are like, I don't see anything. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like in the room itself.
Oh yeah.
If you really wish to sit more, there's a way for you to connect with it, using your spiritualism, which is essentially you would need to essentially use your seance ability to properly physically connect with any spiritual being or ghost in the place. But it is you've seen it happen. You know the risk.
Yeah.
What are the risks?
I mean, you temporarily summon a spirit, and there's always risk of possession.
There's risk of possession. There's risk of malevolent spirits trashing the place.
And
there's all sorts of fun stuff.
And it will cost you like 1 quintance pip for every 10 minutes the person is possessed. So you can either be possessed yourself or encourage the ghost to possess somebody else. But you're probably the one with the highest quintance right now. So.
Oh, I'm almost certainly the one with the highest quintessence. You know what? It is going to give us an awful lot of information about this artifact. Why not get possessed? This is going to be fun.
Alright, so roll your spiritualism. It's a difficulty 1.
This is when the system gets
2 successes, 0 failures. So 2 successes on letting myself get possessed by the spirit of the dragon.
Or whatever spirit is around.
Spirits.
Or whatever spirit you just
whatever
let into your
spirit is
body.
in the room trying to tell me something.
And so you see Zephrine just like focusing. And for a moment, like she's not responding. Her eyes completely wide out. You can see her hair move, but there's no wind. And she looks up at you. And she seems to be completely lost. You don't see any pupil in her eye. What language do y'all speak? I'm assuming that
Common.
none of you speak Mandarin.
I never really got into picking the languages.
Not.
Definitely no one thought to take talents in other languages, I don't think.
I didn't even realize languages were
I
as a concern.
did, but I'm not inside.
Do you have
Do you
Mandarin?
speak Mandarin?
I literally didn't even think about
Wait,
languages.
actually? Would we know this? Would we know this about James?
Well, he's a
You know what?
soldier.
Probably not.
Well, he's a soldier.
But
He would have
we
been a
do have someone who might be able to repeat it verbatim at James when we get back to
Exactly.
it.
If it's said, I can repeat it.
Or, you
But
know, to the best of
it's
your ability
also-
with the tones.
Also, I mean, again, because we're first time playing this system,
Yeah.
did not know really languages.
I mean,
was a
it
thing,
would make
and
sense, right? You
I'm
know?
from a rich family, so maybe I was, for business concerns, learned languages.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's best I can come up with.
Let's face it.
Or we get James in their house. Maybe
think-
he gives into his urge to see like what's taking us so long.
Yeah. Can we?
And he barges into and he finds his way
I
into
mean,
the
that's
artifact
a
room.
high possibility.
I mean, I could also, as soon as we.
Here, I'm gonna roll for it.
Yes.
Roll
All right.
resolve to stay
Do
out of
it.
the house.
I'm gonna roll a resolve to stay out of the house.
I mean, none of you were expecting to be possessed
I
by the
failed.
ghost of a Chinese
So
person.
he comes into the house.
So he's in the house.
So you knock at
So
the door.
can James find us?
Mrs. Straub, welcomes you. This is happening. Let's backtrack a bit, to make it happen at the same time. Mrs. Straub looks at you. Oh, well, it's you. I was wondering if you...
Yes.
Can I help you?
I'm looking to find my friends.
Yeah.
I stayed outside just
yeah.
because, but I'd like to know where they are.
Yes. Please follow me. And you do see, Miss Doyle there. Oh, I think you just missed them. They should just be, right up the next floor.
Okay, thank you.
And you walked in, and you see in front of you both Alexander and, Basil. Confused, horrified. I don't know what's the expression of somebody.
Basil's probably just like, now see, this is why I don't study this stuff. It looks incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah. It would.
I don't mess with this stuff. I stay away far, 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 far away from it.
No,
Wait, what do you mean?
Welcome to the treasure room. Zephrine seems to not be herself at the moment.
Yeah.
And has she started speaking, or are we just realizing that she's
Yeah.
turning inside out from the eyes
Yeah.
down?
She's speaking. From what you gather, this is most likely the spirit of a poor little old Chinese lady that died many, many, many years ago. And it
She's in one of the urns.
it just happened that her final remains are in one of the urns. Just been lingering around, from far away from her home. And she saw that somebody had possible spiritual connection, gave a sign, and is just here asking for help to return
Excellent.
home.
We'll see what we can do about that. But can you tell us about this dragon situation?
I'm
There's
assuming
some missing. Can you ask it about the? And I'm asking for this to be relayed.
James is dying.
James
James is dead.
James is trying to his best
James
to.
has to first translate to you guys, and then you have to.
Yeah,
And then
this
you
is a
have to
telephone
respond.
game with 4 participants.
2.5.
This is 2.5.
Yeah.
Now, make it clear that there are children in danger and involved, but can she tell us anything or put us in touch with whatever this statue actually is?
Let's see if she would, the ghost would actually know anything about that.
Or could make the, hand the phone over to the.
Yeah.
I love this.
As soon as you mention, I'm assuming that James, you're just trying to translate the best you can.
Yes.
As soon as you mention the statue, you see Safrine head turn really quickly, which is probably gonna be hurting like hell when you're no longer being possessed.
Oh yeah, that's gonna.
Uh,
You
towards
heard the crack. It was a chiropractic readjustment of her very
Yeah.
own.
and if you could see fear in somebody's face of what may be beyond that, as soon as the ghosts connect with what the object nearby is, as a friend you drop to your knee as a ghost spirit leaves you. Whatever's inside, based on because you still get the feeling of the person possess you, is quite terrifying.
It's really bad.
That's a bad sign.
When dead people are terrified of other things, it's
Oh
a
yeah, that's
bad
not a good
day.
sign.
It is a bad
That's not a good sign. Am I left with the lingering sense of fear as the ghost fled?
Probably for a little bit.
Okay.
So it sticks with you.
Whatever this thing is scares the shit out of some little old lady. Got it.
Yeah, so you
And this is a-
get mark up like
Guys,
one
let's
Quentin's
not
pip
give
off
this.
your thing.
Okay. Yep.
Let's not give this to the people who want it. Apparently, it's very, very bad.
Like,
even the
the
dead
best thing we could do is
scared.
find a way to get this back to China.
Or make sure.
Let's get this
it's
out of the
around.
country.
Amazing idea.
Why do
I
rich
don't think
people
anyone
like to
involved
build
in
things
this
to
is
places
interested in
they
getting
don't
it
want?
back.
Question.
Deal with the war.
Yes.
The statue, is it on a pedestal or is it entirely jade? Is it like on a stand?
It is
A display case?
it has
thing,
been
or-
it has been put in a little display, which seems to not necessarily be something that came with it.
Mhm.
But just to better display it on its own, could probably stand decently. But when you have like a centerpiece like that, you want to showcase it on your best pedestal.
Does it look? I'll explain it. He won't. Outwardly say why he's looking at it this closely, but on the base of it,
Yeah.
where it's standing, basically he's looking for anywhere to hide a demolition charge in this thing with a timer. Just we hand it off to them to ensure that okay, get the kids back, and then it goes away.
That's a horrible idea.
Yes, but this is
No,
what Basil
no,
thinks he's here for.
Yeah.
And
I'm assuming that Basil is just saying that out loud,
Presumably
right?
releases whatever
No,
is
Basil is
inside
just
of the
looking.
So
packet.
both you, Alexandra, and Zafrina, you have no clue, Basil.
No,
No,
give
we
me
have no
as
idea.
far as
This
it
is
looks
the
like,
internal
is I'm
monologue.
just taking a really,
Yeah, this
really
is-
close look at it.
Yeah.
This is Tuck dying.
Yeah. Give me perception. And if you have any specific
meanwhile-
engineering skill that may apply to that, add
I
them.
have lots of stuff like that. I have ad hoc repair. I have my engineering license. I have my demo. I'm a demolitionist.
There you
I
go.
have
Add that.
You want me to add my demolition to that?
Sure.
That's 14 dice.
Oh my god.
Make it like a difficulty 5, just because.
Okay.
The whole
Yeah.
setup of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want
Is
it
there
on
any
the-
chance that I can identify the urn that the ghost that possessed me came from? Possibly, like...
Possibly, yeah. Giving a quick look around and just using your lingering feel. Yeah, you know which one it is. It is the correct urn.
Is it going to be very noticeable when I swipe it?
Among other things, possibly, but possibly not, depending on how well you do it.
I mean, I'm swiping something too, so there's no question about that.
I specifically need to swipe this thing so I can return this urn. This is how my spiritualism works.
Yeah.
The ghost is connected to me. Now they will not leave me alone until I do what they want me to do. So I need to get this
I
urn
just need
back to China.
I
I
3
know.
successes, 0 failures on a challenge 5 with 14 dice against it.
Wow.
You do, it would probably be not exactly the most discreet thing. Like, especially mostly based on the shape and size of the object. But could be done.
Maybe if it was made to look like there was part of stand attached to it or something,
Yeah.
or in the shipping box or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something on that allows the statue to hold there.
I mean, looking at it and just again, family is in weaponry, admittedly mostly mundane. Do I get the sense, given her Zephrine and her ghost reaction, is this a type of weapon? Yeah, I'm thinking like I'm the dude from Fifth Element looking at this ancient weapon here. Is this striking me as something?
Roll empathy.
Empathy.
And
Yeah,
because
I mean,
you're like getting it secondhand from, a possessed woman with a ghost, make it a difficulty 3.
Okay.
Uh,
1 success, 1 failure, neutralized.
okay.
I got nothing.
Yeah, it's
what do I find that looks like it's worth taking?
I
Everything
mean,
in the room.
everything in this room is
Carpet.
probably worth more than your yearly salary tenfold. If you're looking for something that is quick and easy to just pick, there's possibly like some scrolls and little artifacts, little statuette and things like that could be picked discreetly.
Has
But
Mr.
most of them
Doyle
are behind some glass containers. As you're looking around,
Things easy to pick.
yeah, as you're looking around, you do hear every footstep, and opening the door is the said Mr. Doyle, standing in front of you. This esteemed elderly gentleman, short hair, gray on the side, with a little mustache, and very finely dressed with a pipe in his mouth. Well, it looks like a visitor. What can I do for you?
I was just admiring your spice collection.
Yeah.
And I'll look around the room.
Well, the spice business is quite, lucrative, and sometimes I do like to bring myself a little souvenir.
And I
don't think I caught your name, Mr.
Basil.
Basil. I'm sure they
Worthington.
Worthington. Yes, from the Worthington family factory.
Yes.
I've seen your family street in action.
Isn't it? We are quite good at what we do.
And
I'll lean on the statue.
please, hands off the.
No, I'm sorry, this is valuable.
And
I mean, and other than, and I'll hold up the note, other than, your children's continued survival.
yes. Yes, it seemed that some people have interested with my recent import.
And I'll pull out the other one. Yeah, the import of spices. I'll put it back in my pocket.
Yes, I do import some spices indeed as well. Sometimes I do, like I mentioned, bring a little souvenir. So, what is your interest in this?
Oh, yeah, why?
And he seems to be
let's
very.
find your
I
children.
have like no patience for you right now.
Yeah, and I'm pushing it. I'm trying to annoy him to get him off balance. I assumed you would have known. Your wife hired us to find your children.
Yes,
You
she
don't seem.
did mention that she hired some acquaintance And he's gonna look at Zephrine. I do believe I've seen you before in some circle. As for the other two, I'm not too sure.
Would I have dressed his family?
Probably heard of me.
Possibly, but not Mr. Doyle himself. So you may have like seen Mrs. Doyle, or no, based on your circle, seen her, but
Might have been in the house, or she picked
Yeah.
it. He picked her up, or something out at your dress shop, or
Yeah.
something.
Say, they've probably heard of me, seeing as what my job is or was.
Well, if you were good at it, that's mixed possibility. I mean, theoretically, depending how illicit he is,
yeah,
his job is spices. My family would have heard of you before his would.
yeah. So, I'm assuming that
So the point is, at the moment, it looks like it's a rescue mission. Or are you planning to just hand this over?
well, that should
Or
depend.
are you
The security
taking other actions?
security of my family is the most important here. Although I would, indeed appreciate to find a culprit and get back things that I invested so much in.
Mm-hmm.
If that's
Yes,
an
it seems
option.
like quite an investment.
Check this, like, can I use our insight to check this?
What are you trying to
Oh,
read?
do we believe him, kind of thing?
Read whether I believe that he cares more about his family than he does the money he could make off of the stuff that was
Sure,
taken
roll
from
for
him during the
empathy.
statue.
Okay.
Do success.
One success.
0.
And James? I'm not able to hear you.
On 2 dice.
You're breaking up.
Yeah,
James,
there's such a
couldn't hear you.
delay. He seemed to have some genuine concern for his family and business. Mostly annoyed right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. There's an end of genuine concern. Whether if it's more for his family or a reputation, that's difficult to tell.
Out of character, it's 9 o'clock. Do we want to keep going or continue this next week?
I think we can just quickly wrap this.
Can you hear me now?
16.
Yeah,
Yeah, we hear you.
We can wrap this scene around,
Okay.
and that's where we're gonna call it.
I had 2 successes
Yeah,
on 2
you
dice.
can probably get the same
Yeah.
feel as So I'm assuming I can expect you to handle or help the family handle the transaction.
No, I do have some preliminary
Certainly.
thoughts on it.
All right. Yes, I did not catch your name.
Alexandra. Collins.
Collins. Yes, I think I heard you.
Depending on how discreet you want to make this transaction, it might be worth telling us if you have any thoughts on who this may be.
Honestly, only few people know about me bringing this in here. The only one that I can know is this smuggler, dwarven man.
Yes, it's almost certainly involved in that with your children.
Although it would not be surprising if somebody, did get to him to bribe him for to get more information out of this. It's hard to trust a dwarf.
Alexander just has a look of
Oh, yeah.
just like for those that know Cipher of Tears, stare emote. It's just
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
Just the most utter contempt.
this Eldrin man, definitely, look at you. You've been looked at by Eldrins that way many times. But like, yeah, I mean, it's just a dwarf. Who cares? All right. Well, I suppose that we can hopefully reconvene and near the time of the transport if you need to make any preparation in order to handle this matter effectively and ensure the safety of the transfer. That would be greatly appreciated.
Might I ask, do you know what this statue, other than looking amazing, do you know what the value of this object is?
If you're
You know what
asking,
its purpose is.
if you're asking me how much I paid for that,
Oh no, I'm not. I don't care how much you paid for it. I'm asking
The
if you
value is-
understand what you have.
well, from my knowledge, I have.
Does it concern you that
Built
the
for artifact,
dead are
that's-
frightened of it?
I'm not sure exactly what you mean. It's to me just a statue from imported back from China.
Nobody ever does their research.
Empathy check to see if he's lying.
Sure, go for it.
I have no empathy, but
Yeah, I got nothing that time. I was too busy being bewildered by the fact he didn't do his research.
nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Hard to read, really. Whether genuinely did not do his research or know that he knows exactly what he has in his hand. Hard to tell. All right.
What were you told it is?
What I was told was simply that this was an ancient artifact that belonged to some apparently some temple at the time, many years ago.
No enchanting ghost stories or missing princesses or
Well-
fallen kingdoms.
So many artifacts from the east have myths of around them. I'm not gonna
Yes,
lie.
the one of concern at the
But
moment is
let's
this
be
one.
honest. If you are a man of logic, which based on your family tradition, I presume that you are. At least I hope that you are. We all know that those are just merely the stories.
So
Are
I
you
disagree
unaware
with
of the
that.
world in which we live in?
Oh, the migraine I have disagrees.
And
I
just
don't quite
point
say
to
that out. I don't say that loud. It's kind of very much muttered
no,
under my
but
breath.
just
but
again, I've seen this whole scene and he hasn't.
Yeah.
I'm pointing to her as like, are you unaware of the world in which you live in, sir?
Oh, I mean, I've seen
The
people with-
unexplained has its own logic, and it can be parsed, even without our understanding. There is logic to the fairy tales.
Yes, I do have a relative with some gift here and there. But I mean, there's obviously nothing special about this, or if there is, well, the more it would be worth for us to have it back, would it not?
ooh, it might be worth more to return it than to keep it. But
There are talents
Certainly.
and there are
hauntings
curses.
are always fun.
Well,
There are talents and there are curses, are there not?
thank you very much for your concern, and I will, if that's what you
Anyway,
believe.
yes, we will see what we can do for making arrangements to transfer this and get your children back.
All right. Well, unless you wish to stay for dinner, do you have any further business?
No, but we may be coming in and out, and well, we'll probably be arranging some shipment, carriage, and items for shipping. Transferring this item.
I best think that we may want to come back in the morning to.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just letting him know there might be workmen entering and then exiting his house as we package this ship for shipment.
Well, to make yourself announce. Is that all?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I believe that's all.
And it looks at all of you ups and down, checking if any of you have sticky fingers.
No one's actually stolen anything
Yeah.
yet.
No, it's just giving a
No,
quick look.
I haven't attempted to steal it yet.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not going to do it while the rest of the group is here. This is my night job.
Yeah. All right.
Basil's
giving
forgetfully
him a
leaning on the
solid-
dragon again.
I'm giving him a solid stare. That
Like,
just
if I thought he
robotic-
was distracted enough, I might try to get that urn out and, like, quick remaneuver stuff around so it's not quite so obvious that it's missing. But I don't think even Basil's distracting conversation will be enough for me to have an opportunity at this juncture.
Yeah, it'd be fairly difficult right now, because he's keeping an eye on
You,
all
you
of
know
you.
that stare that people give you when you're really, really just suspicious of you? Like the stare somebody gives you when they're really suspicious of you?
The one he's giving us, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm giving him that same stare back.
You're mirroring him, basically.
I mean, your face is mostly a mirror, so
Yeah.
True.
All right.
it's funny. Alexandra probably has the most like blank look on her face.
Yeah.
Like it's not showing any emotion.
Basil's just kind of like half bemused, is like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is a kind of
Zafrine's
most interesting
just
thing to
like,
happen this week.
Oh,
Yeah, and you can see behind
Ghost.
him Caroline just like waiting quietly, like, okay, well, am I gonna guide them out of the house, or no? She's patiently waiting. Well,
Safrina's sort of tempted to take him up on the dinner offer, but feels that would be way too obvious.
Basil starts ignoring him and pulls out a tape measure and starts measuring the dragon, and because we're gonna need to ship this thing.
yeah,
At least puts on a show of ignoring the guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
Yeah.
He's staring in a room, just looking at you, waiting to see, when the current guests are gonna leave.
I'm trying to outpatience him, and make it look
Yeah.
like we're still here doing things until he leaves.
I'll grab like a notebook. I'll grab like a little notebook out of my thing, and I will start.
Once I know,
start helping.
start reading off measurements and.
Mm-hmm.
And he's increasingly annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
Well-
can leave us to this.
You did ask us to make preparations. Thank you. We're done.
Fine. But, well, hopefully,
I mean, if
shall
you
see you
don't
in the
wish us
morning.
involved, that's fun as well. You just have to say so.
And he promptly leaves the room to his office next door.
Probably never leave. Shall we go?
The landlord. I think I need a drink after this.
I need multiple drinks. These people are driving me nuts.
So, assuming they all turn their backs on me real quick, I'm gonna see if I can't snag that urn.
I mean, there's still
And
Caroline,
make it-
waiting on you.
Caroline's still there.
Yeah. But like, okay.
You can give it
if
a shot.
Caroline is. I got 3 successes.
Okay. You're able to snag it.
I mean, by
Can
this
I
point,
like
you could
snag
also
it
probably.
and then also like rearrange stuff a little bit so that it's not so obvious that it's missing?
Alright. So eventually you make your way out. I'm assuming you put that in a bag that you have with you.
How big
Yes,
is
or
this urn?
amongst the folds of my petticoats.
Urn size.
Hmm?
Decent size.
Like, we're in the
It-
time
it-
where
it's
women's
pro-
pockets could hold 3 geese.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. I mean, it is probably
So
about
I
like.
have a pocket.
It probably
Yeah, I
after
was
your
curious.
size, based on your
I'm
like.
not doubting you. Just
Yeah.
Based on your
I
size.
mean, yes, it's a little uncomfortable considering I'm short, but
Yeah.
I mean, just look
I
at
mean-
him. He has.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a svelte-looking individual. I've got a lumpy jacket and a satchel I carry with me everywhere. I'm
Exactly.
not a sleek black tie individual. unusual at all, in any means.
Yeah.
I mean, I blend, but barely.
So you're able to sneak that object out, and Caroline will lead you towards the door. Well, Mrs. Doyle, thank you for coming. And from what I understand, we should see you in the morning tomorrow.
Yes, or at least some handyman for your to box up the dragon.
All right. Well, thank you for your assistance with this. Hopefully, we have the children.
You're
back
not
soon.
involved in any of this, are you?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's empathy here.
Sure. Roll for it.
2 successes.
No successes because my dice hate me.
She genuinely appeared to be concerned about the well-being of the children. So.
Mm-hmm. But you can be concerned because
Yeah,
you've
she's
made a mistake and you can put them in a bad situation.
mistakes that she may have made are not related to those of Mr. Doyle. If that.
You broke up there.
Okay, she's based on what you can read from her. She doesn't seem to be involved in that specific scenario here.
Okay.
Does she seem to feel guilt? Yes. Possibly because, children are in her care most of the time.
But it's just a general parental guilt, not a...
Yeah.
Can you tell... Has there been anyone watching the house? Anyone lingering on the street?
Not to my knowledge.
In the coming day, pay very close attention, please.
Sure.
Let us know.
I'm going to pass word to the rest of the staff as well.
Not too many, only those you specifically trust.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Alright, and as you all set out for the evening, probably catching the cab or whatever means some of you live a bit closer, you will be having a night's rest, preparing for whatever comes in the morning. And that's where
I'm gonna need the information from James to tell me where to send this urn back, because I assume the ghost told him in Mandarin.
Oh.
Nope, you don't get it.
Yeah. James.
That's the plan. That's the Fiend's plan, is to get this thing curried back to its correct resting place.
Sure, I mean, you could just send it through,
as we exit,
Victorian FedEx.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
assume James has to give me the information, is all.
As we exit, I just grab the flask that I got at the theater and just drain it. Because, I hated that man so much.
I mean, there's a reason why Robert didn't like him either.
Yeah, he's everything that's wrong with upper class.
Yep.
Absolutely. You don't know how much I wanted to shoot him in the head.
We love a character that we can hate. Alright, and that's where we're going to leave it tonight. Next session will be next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, as always. We'll pick up either with a nightly preparation or in the wee early of the morning as our troop of intrepid adventurer are setting up for this covert transaction. So again, thank you everybody for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you all next week.
I just said goodbye, everyone.
In the meantime, but as always, stick around, as we're most likely gonna, go raid a friend, because as always we love to share the GR love. So have a good night.
I just sent you a raid suggestion in the DMs.
All right. Perfect.
At this point, I'm keeping a track of how many times we break each of us.
Okay, yep.
I shall catch you, everybody, next week. Good night.
Right.